Finally, a time when you're happy that somebody flips you the bird. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you. Today we're going to kind of continue on our little tiki theme that we did from last week. Probably going to do maybe another week or two of tiki cocktails given the weather outside. Talking Smuggler's Cove again. Martin and Rebecca Kate. Probably the best, or most famous, most important current tiki cocktail book. There's a bunch of older ones that I think are probably very much worth going after, but this kind of currently is a big one. The one we're going to talk about today is the Jungle Bird. Now I'm going to do the Smuggler's Cove version. There is also an Aviary, which if nobody's familiar with the Aviary, it is a bar in Chicago. One of the most important cocktail bars in the world. They have a version of the Jungle Bird that I will not be doing for you today because it is incredibly complicated, and I may start tackling some Aviary cocktails at some point. But I feel like most of you guys are not going to be making Aviary cocktails. They require tremendous amounts of preparation. They are very good. It's nothing against them. They're very good cocktails, but I don't feel like most people are going to be, wanting to spend, maybe several days making one cocktail. So I'm sticking with ones that are sort of more cocktails for the mass kind of thing. So this was created for the grand opening of the Kuala Lumpur Hilton in 1973. And interestingly enough, the bar at that Hilton was called the Aviary, so it's not surprising the Aviary did their own version of it. Anyway, now that we know a little bit about the cocktail, let's go ahead and make it and see what we think. Okay, starting off, we're going to start with 2 ounces of pineapple juice. Now, pineapple juice, you should always use fresh. I don't use much pineapple juice. I love pineapple, I think it's great, but I just don't go through it, so I use canned. It's not killing your drink, use canned. If you do have access to fresh squeezed pineapple juice, by all means use that. I am, however, going to use fresh squeezed lime juice. So, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I mentioned it's 2 ounces of the pineapple juice, and then we're going to do just a half an ounce of our fresh squeezed lime. Also half an ounce of our Demerara simple syrup. You always got to be a little patient with this one. It's a very thick syrup. It doesn't like to pour very well. So it takes its time. Now the interesting thing, the most interesting ingredient for me in this cocktail is the next one, which we're going to toss in 3/4 ounce of Campari. Now we've talked about Amars on this channel a fair amount. It's very bitter, but I think oftentimes if you have a sweet cocktail, a Campari can actually go very well along with that. So in this case we're going to use 3/4 ounce of our Campari. Now this is not part of the recipe, but I'm going to do it because I think it's fun, and I love Jamaican rums, and I think if I'm making a Jungle Bird, I should throw in a little bit of Dr. Bird. So I'm just going to throw in like maybe a light half an ounce of our Jungle Bird. Just gonna give it a little bit of funkiness in there. But our main rum is gonna be our Pampero Aniversario. And we're gonna toss in 1.5 ounces. All right, we're gonna get some ice in the shaker and we'll shake this thing up. All right, now that we got our ice, pour that in there, give it a good shake. All right, this is another one of those cocktails that you will realize that I am your OCD bartender, because they will tell you to open pour this. Most places will. I, on the other hand, am going to double strain it into a rocks glass with a big chunk of ice in there. I gotta be me. All right, let's strain that on in there. It's got a really great color to it. It's kind of like somewhere between like a kind of an orangey. One that we know about this, so this has got Campari in there, so this is not going to be your sort of traditional, or more traditional tiki cocktail of just kind of sweet citrus, balancing out your sweet and sour. This is going to have a little more complexity to it, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Let's give it a try. Okay, I think that's pretty fantastic. It is a complex cocktail. I'm actually really glad I put that Dr. Bird in there. I think that little extra note of funkiness is kind of helping things out a little bit. But you sort of get your sweet from your rums and the sourness of the Campari. Because remember, the Campari is going to be more bitter than most of the other sweet things you're going to put in there. That's why you put in 3/4 of an ounce. Because if you put too much more than that, it's going to take over the drink. 3/4 of an ounce, I think, is just perfect for this. It's really complicated. It sort of has an evolution. Most Amaros don't present their bitterness right in the front of your palate. It kind of comes in later on. So when you take a sip of this, you're getting your sort of citrus and your sweet right on the front, and then the bitterness kind of comes in at the end. I think it's a really nice little evolution. Really no notes in this cocktail at all. I think this was a great one. Highly recommend this. Probably if it's somebody that's new to cocktails, you know what, I was going to say maybe they wouldn't like it. The Campari really isn't taking over this drink. The bitterness is very much just around the outside, and I think it's very, very well balanced. So I think this drink is for everybody. So yeah, highly recommend this around the pool or just, you know, sitting outside. That being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good drink, and have a good day.